5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Tom, and thank you for agreeing to be my first guest on the Headmaster's podcast. I'm going to take you back to Sunday the 8th of July, a date that I'm sure you'll never forget. The date when you and Rob Laws and Josh Arnold entered an all-road team in the Castle Ironman series. How did the idea of entering a triathlon come about?
Well, the idea came about as far back as October when I suggested to Rob that we did something slightly different in terms of trying to raise money and awareness for our chosen charity. And I knew that he swam, and I knew that Josh ran, and I was happy to cycle, and I said, why don't we do a triathlon? So that was the original idea. And in true Mr. Law style, by the following morning, it was an Ironman. And by the following day, it was an Ironman. I think he originally meant it to be close to home, but we didn't realise it's one of the toughest ones, certainly in Britain and also recognised worldwide. And
if I remember rightly, not only did he want you to enter this, but he wanted to smash some sort of record?
He did. He did. Conditions put paid to that fairly quickly.
Right. And of course, apart from the physical challenge, it was also to raise money for Dusty Yak.
Yeah, to raise money and awareness. We felt it would be a good thing if we could get involved as staff and do something slightly different. I know we had the cycle-thon a few years ago. So we're looking for just something that was slightly different and we could get involved in, and we felt that we were making a real difference. And the other thing was that it would be a cost to us. Not just a financial cost, but a cost in terms of effort,
yes,
and focus and motivation and everything. And that was the reason we're all happy to take on what is actually a grueling event.
So you're juggling the training with all your school commitments. Did you or Mr. Laws or Mr. Arnold ever worry and think about pulling out?
No.
100% you were always going to do it.
We were always going to do it. And even halfway, well, 2/3 of the way through the course, when it started to get very tough,
yes,
there was no way we weren't going to finish.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly the beauty of doing it as a team.
Yes.
All three of us didn't want to let each other down.
Right.
We certainly didn't want to let school down or Dusty Yak down. So the motivation was high.
You certainly didn't. So let's go to the big day itself. On the last day of term, we've had speech day, and then all three of you had to go straight away to Hever Castle.
We had to go through register and have a briefing, and the briefing was quite important.
Crucial.
There are a lot of safety factors in doing those distances, and with the heat, which, as everybody knows, this summer was fairly difficult. It was very important.
Well, as you know, Lynn and I drove down on the Sunday to cheer you on, and we couldn't help noticing that the temperature was rising into the late 20s and eventually the early 30s, and I think by the time you were on your bike it was 35. Ouch. Did you sleep the night before? Did you?
Yeah, we did. We did pretty well.
Yeah.
I think we got 6 or 7 hours, which for a big event like that is, I think, is fairly good.
Good.
And
Good.
We left at 4.
Left here at Aldred at 4 o'clock.
Got there for 5, and Rob was in the water just after 6.
What was that like? The big start. Everybody gathered. Mr. Laws, did he put on that goose fat stuff, you know, that they do, the cross-channel swims?
No, the frustration for them was they weren't allowed to use a wetsuit.
They weren't?
They weren't allowed to use a wetsuit because the temperature was too high in the water. And therefore you can actually dehydrate far too quickly.
But he'd been training with a wetsuit?
Yeah, he'd done both.
He'd done, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, is there a starting pistol or
there is a start.
Ready, steady, go?
There is a start, and as the sun rose, it's the most beautiful setting.
Yes.
The nerves, I don't think the nerves are so much the distance. We trained the distance. I think we're fairly confident we could do it. The worry was pacing it and the heat. And it was already 20, I think it was 26 when he went in the pool.
Already.
And that was at 6 in the morning. So it was, the conditions were as hard as if it had been lashing with rain and windy.
And to his distance?
No idea.
The swim? It was long.
You got that.
But it was a lake.
I didn't see him for a very long time. And he didn't see me when I was out on the bike. I think it took him an hour and 40.
Now, I've seen Mr. Law swim in our school pool. He's got this sort of languid style where he seems to only take about 3 strokes to get from one end of the pool to the other. Is that how he swam?
He's an exceptionally good swimmer.
Yes.
But he found it tough, and he cramped and tore both calves in the water halfway through. So he suffered hugely on his leg.
Not just tore one calf, but both calves, and suffered from cramp.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So when he came hobbling into transition,
yes,
I didn't ask. I knew not to ask, because he knew not to ask me when I came in. So
and how do you do that? He just sort of tags you and off you go? Or?
Yeah, we have a timing chip. So the timing chip has to be on you at all times. So
right.
He has to take it off his ankle, pass it to me, and then...
So what time is this? What time is the...
Quarter to 8 eventually.
So still very early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But temperatures in the late 20s by now.
Yeah.
And off you go on your bike. I'm trying to picture, were you one of the first in the middle of the field towards the end?
We would have been midfield.
Midfield.
For the overall competitors, yeah.
Okay. So you're off, Tom, around the Kent countryside.
Mm.
How many laps?
3.
3 identical laps. How was the first lap?
Great.
I think I caught up with you about halfway through the second lap.
Yeah.
And it's fair to say you were breathless, but you were confident.
I was breathless for the whole thing. We were
Yes.
working hard. The first lap I was pleased with, because the temperatures, I knew if I didn't get as much done as quick as possible, I was going to struggle. Mr. Laws felt I went off too quick, and arguably I did.
Right.
But I knew that if I could get the miles in, then once I started to get tired and the heat got up, and I just went slower, I wasn't too worried about the time.
The third lap presumably was the toughest of all.
Third lap was very, very tough, and that's being polite. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I was struggling to breathe, struggling to get oxygen in me.
You say eat and drink. There were food stations and
There were
drink
food
stations?
stations every half a lap,
Right.
and they were brilliant. So you could just literally throw your bottles away, and they would give you
Yeah.
bottles and food, whatever you wanted them on your end.
What sort of food?
You had the choices.
Oh,
You
okay.
had, jelly babies at the end was the only
Yes.
thing I could get down me. Flapjacks, bananas, energy drinks, water, lots and lots of water. So there was, I think I drank 15 litres throughout the ride.
15 litres.
Yeah, and it still wasn't enough, and I was only hydrated. So by the end of the last hour, I couldn't drink or eat anything. I was struggling, really struggling, and that was just heat. And we all were. A lot of people were.
Well, 15 litres. So you finished the race. We saw you finish. We saw you smile as you came over the finish line, and we had to put up with a very nervy Mr. Arnold for the last hour or so. So off he went. So describe the feeling. Josh is coming on down the home straight. Did you sprint the last few?
Well, we all ran with him.
Oh, did you?
We all went and met him. It's
Mr. Laws as well?
Yeah, it's a fairly
that's
traditional thing.
Yeah,
Ironman.
yeah.
You know, nobody's going for a time at that point.
Yes.
The guy who'd won, he'd come in hours before. He was sitting there with his burger and his feet up, watching everybody smiling. So it was just the most fantastic atmosphere.
Yes.
And the support there amongst the athletes and people who'd come to support, friends, family, was just fantastic and incredible.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Now I gather you, obviously you entered the team event, and I gather you got a podium finish.
We won the team event.
You won the team
We are
event.
proud to say we won the team event.
But let's not forget one of the main points of doing this. I believe that your target initially was 500 quid, and you raised?
We raised just over 5,000.
Goodness me, that's fantastic.
It is fantastic, and I think there's a lot of people that have been motivated and inspired to go and do other things and other events.
Yes.
And basically, the more money, the more awareness we can raise
Yes.
for Dusty Yak, for the charity, for those girls there. Then I think as a school, we've made a fantastic effort this year. And then Mrs. Plyan went over there during half term
Yes.
to have a look at their teaching and their provision there, and to help some of her advice. So we really feel that we've got behind this charity this year, and it's been a team effort.
It sure
from
has.
everybody.
It sure has. And we've got 1 or 2 fundraising events coming up still. And you were so pleased with your efforts that I think you promptly entered another triathlon during the summer?
Yes, this has to be sort of qualified. we decided, because we couldn't find time to meet up, nobody wanted to eat at the end of the day because we
Yes.
were all just dead, quite frankly. We decided to enter the Arundel triathlon, which is just a sprint distance, so it was only an hour and 10 minutes on the bike and a relatively short swim and 6 mile trot for Josh.
Still sounds a lot to me.
And we had a fantastic time.
Yes.
Yeah, and we loved it. And the really the main purpose of it was partly to have a social, and we sat in Arundel, which is the most beautiful place I've never been before, and we're able to spend 3.5 hours on the couch just eating and drinking, and also just being able to say goodbye to Mr. Laws properly, because we haven't been able to do it on the day or on speech day. So we
and you're right, Hever Castle, lovely setting. Arundel Castle, lovely setting. If you're going to put your body through all this pain and effort, then you might as well do it in lovely surroundings. Any plans for next year? Is there going to be a team Dusty Yak or Team Aldro reunited?
We're going to do it again.
Are you the same one?
We're going to do the same one again. We feel we've unfinished business.
Right.
So next year, with another year's training, a year of experience, having done the event, knowing what's coming, we'll be aiming to beat our times considerably. Wow. And also, it's just a lovely way of, it's just a lovely thing to do.
It certainly is. And the money raised, as you say, is a fantastic bonus. Tom, thank you so much. On behalf of everybody at Aldro, we're all very proud of you three. And the money raised, as you say, will make an enormous difference to those girls. So, Tom Rayner, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, boss.